So given Assalamu alaikum. Given a function of x as shown above, or you can say below, given that function of x, and you have been asked to determine as the stationary point, and hence you state the nature of that stationary. Is it a maximum? Is it a minimum? Or is it a inflection? So what you have to do there is just define the first derivative of that function, because this is only the function of is only a function of x. It could be a function of x and y, then we could follow other procedures. But the procedures for a such function, you just find the first derivative of that function. So the first derivative of that function, it will be just 6x squared minus 4x minus 6x, then minus 12. Now that is our first derivative. But for any function of x, therefore, when you are finding the stationary point, the second derivative, or this we can call it dy dx, which is the slope. So at the slope at the maximum point or at the stationary point is always 0. So we have just to equate this function with 0. So that minus 4x minus 6x is just minus 10x. Then minus 12 equals to 0. So finally, we can simplify that function by dividing by 2. So as it will be 3x squared minus 5x, then minus 6 equals to 0. So can we use this products and sum rule to find that to solve that quadratic equation? Let's confirm. So the sum is minus 5 and the product is minus 18. So sum of two numbers, when you add, you get, when you add, you have to get 5. When you multiply, you get minus 18. Can we get these numbers? We can see that getting this such that number is so very deep, is not there. There's no that number. Now we can use quadratic formula. We say it's minus b, which is 5, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus b squared, which is minus 5 squared minus 4. A is 3c. ac over 2a over 2 times 3. Therefore, it will be just 5 plus or minus the square root of 25, then plus, because minus and minus becomes plus, so it will be 4 times, we can use calculator here, so it will be just 4 times 3 times 6, which equals to 72, all over 6. So 25 plus 72, so plus 25, it will be just 97. So we take the square root of answer. Square root of answer. So this is just 5 plus or minus the result, which is 9.8. 9.8, just 9.8 all over 6. So that point, the value of x, value of x can either be 5 minus, is just 5 minus 9.8 over 6, or 5 plus 9.8 all over 6. So the value of x there is just, you take 5 minus 9.8, which is minus 4.8 divided by 6. So it will be minus 0.8, minus 0.8, or, so 5 plus 9.8 is that one, 14 point. Then divide this result by, so it's just 2.4, 2.5. Let's just say 2.5. it's just 2.5. So x can either be negative 0.8 or 2.5. Now, let's find the values of y. So, value fx is the same as y, which equals to what? Equals to 2x squared minus 2x, this is cubed, 2x squared minus 3x squared minus 12x plus 6. So let's insert the values of x so as we get y. So getting that, it will be just 2 into 0.8, negative 0.8 cubed, then minus 2 into negative 0.8 squared, minus 3 into negative 0.8, we square it, minus 12 into what? 0.8 minus 0.8, so plus 6. So you can use just your calculator. Negative 0.8 cubed, just 0.5 times 2. So times 2 is to be that one. Then minus, answer minus, open your brackets. So it will be 2. We multiply by negative 0.8, but squared. 0.8 there is squared. So close your brackets. So then minus brackets, open your brackets, key in 3, then we multiply that one by negative 0.8 squared. Close your brackets. Further open them, you have to minus, then open brackets, which will be 12 multiplied by negative 0.8, close the brackets, then plus 6. So the result for that function, so y is just 17.8. When, so you will say when x goes to 0.8, then y should be what? 17.8. So we'll come and say, since y equals to 17.8, so when x goes to negative 0.8, that stationary point is y to be 17.8. Now let's finish. Let's see the value of y when x goes 2.5. Just say it's 2 into 2.5 cubed minus 2 into 2.5 squared minus 3 into 2.5 squared minus 12 into 2.5 plus 6. So what is the value of y? Let's use our calculator to find the values of y. So it will be just 2. You just open your brackets first. It will be 2, then multiply by 2.5 squared. Close bracket minus, open it, 2 multiplied by what? 2.5. So the first one should be cubed. This value should be cubed, not so should be 5 cubed, not squared. Then close the brackets, then minus 2, open your brackets, 2 multiplied by what? 2.5 squared, close the brackets, minus, open the brackets, 3, we multiply it by 2.5, square it. Close the brackets, then minus, open the bracket to be just 12.5, 12 multiplied by 2.5, then plus 6. Close the bracket, then plus 6. So the result is negative 24. So so you will say when x goes to 2, when x goes to 2.5, therefore y it will be negative 24. So these are your stationary points. We have 2 stationary points so far. Now we want to determine the nature. when you want to determine the nature just find, you have the first derivative of x equals to 6x squared minus 6x minus 12 minus, so it's 6x squared minus 4x minus 6x minus 12. So we should write here 4, so minus 4x minus 6x, then minus 6x should be minus 4x minus 6x minus 12. Now we have to find the for you to determine the nature, you just find the third derivative of x. So the third derivative of x, it will be just, we multiply that, which is 12x minus 4, then minus 6, then this one becomes 0. So minus 4 minus 6 is 10. So second, the derivative will be just 12 of x minus 10. Now we have our x values is minus 0.8 or 2.5. So we know x is either 0.8 or 2.5, but negative 0.8. These are the values of x. Now getting this one, we just substitute the values. So it will be just 12 into what? Negative 0.8 minus 10. First substitute with negative. So take 12 multiplied by negative 0.8 equals to minus 10. So when we minus 10, the result is minus 19.6. So the answer is minus 19.6. Let's repeat it with the other value, which is 2.5. So it will be just 12 multiplied by 2.5 minus 10. So 12 multiplied by 2.5, then minus 10, which is 20. So the answer is 20. So you can see this one, we have two stationary points. So you have to say the nature of first stationary point and the second stationary point. So we come and say here, the second derivative is always d squared of y over dx squared over function of y or fx. Fx is the function of y. When you use fx, the second derivative is just given by what? So for any function given by y or fx, the second derivative can either be written in this form or can be written as the second derivative of x, as shown there. So the secret behind this is just, you say that for inflection, dy squared over dx squared or f prime of x should be equals to what? 0. For it to be inflection point, it should meet this requirement. For it to be a maximum, then it should meet this requirement. So dx squared or f, we can write in this form, should be for it to be a maximum, it should be less than 0. Meaningly, it should be a negative. All negative values are less than 0. Finally, for it to be maximum point, then the result of that d squared y over should be greater than, it should be greater than 0. Now let's come back to our function. Now the first point, is it a maximum or minimum? So obvious is a maximum point. Why? Because it's less than 0. Negative numbers are less than 0 in Cartesian plane. Now the second point is a minimum point. Why? It is greater than 0. Numbers which are greater than 0 are positive. Hence, we have determined that. So that is our function.